Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson. Today we are here to preview the very first round of the FCS Football Playoffs. A reminder that today's episode is presented to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. If you're going to be betting on college football or the NFL this weekend during Thanksgiving, make sure you head on over to FanDuel. They also have odds for the FCS playoffs, so implore you FCS fans to head over and check out FanDuel if you want to bet on who you think is going to win a national championship in the FCS. Sean, we've got a lot of games to get to. We're going to go pretty rapid fire here, ripping through all of these as we do every single year. Not going to spend like super in-depth amount of time because if we did 10 minutes on each game, we would be here for the entire afternoon.
Leave that to McCreary and company.
They'd
love to do that.
Yeah. These are quick snacks for you folks as you gear up to go spend time with your families this weekend. Yale at number 15, Youngstown State is the first game up on the docket. I think that this is an awesome opportunity for good old Brungard to brung all over the Ivies. Not going to relitigate the debate that I got into. Not going to do it, but I can't wait to see Bo Brungard brung all out on Yale.
He's going to drop some brung on him for sure. Bring the brung. Bring it fast, bring it hard. That's what he's been doing all season. A reminder, if you're one of the casual FCS listeners who likes tuning in now, quarterback for Youngstown State, Bo Brungard, finished the season with 4,291 total yards, 47 total touchdowns. Oh, you're saying, he must have been passing a lot. No, 23 passing touchdowns, 24 rushing touchdowns. He is offense incarnate. That's what he does. No word on that either. He is just so good. He has been a one-man army for Youngstown. Hard to do in football, by the way, is be a guy that takes over a game week after week. That's who he is. He's going up against a decent Yale team. It's fine. I'm not going to relitigate the whole situation with the Ivies. Shout out to O-line coach Stefan Wheeler at Yale. Only allowed 7 sacks this year.
I don't think he knew my name when he was in Rhode Island.
I'm sure he did.
No, he didn't.
No, I'm sure he did. Come on.
Coach Wheeler did not know my name. Barely knew yours.
Oh, no, he knew mine. I had some teach tape on his. I was happy about that. Outside reach block against stupid Ryan McDonough planted him. He's like, it's teach tape smoke. I said, thanks, coach. Well, his offensive line only allowed 6 sacks this year. Quarterback Dante Reno, awesome football name. Can't believe it's buried in the Ivies. About 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 picks. The offense runs through running back Josh Pitzenberger. Another nod to the offensive line, 1,200 plus yards, 15 touchdowns, 9th in the FCS in yards. It's going to likely go to Youngstown just because they have more firepower. They have the better player, or I guess playmaker, I'd say, between Brungard and Pitzenberger. So I think Youngstown has to be the lean here.
Reno was previously at South Carolina before he transferred to Yale. Somebody commented that he was a 4-star recruit. I'm not seeing, I don't know what outlet that was on that he was rated as a 4-star. Maybe that's on Rivals, but still a talented kid who previously, Rivals also has him as a 3-star. Previously had SEC ties and had the opportunity to be on an SEC roster. Probably was a little bit buried knowing what the depth chart looked like, but still has taken full advantage of the ability to play and rep his home state being from Connecticut. I look at the most simple layer for this matchup. Youngstown has been tremendous. They have been challenged in multiple games this year. They have solid victories over Illinois State and SIU. Their losses come against 3 of the best teams, 3 in the Dakotas, SDSU, North Dakota, and North Dakota State. I like teams that have been challenged. Yale got a really solid win against Harvard in their biggest rivalry game, but I don't know how much that truly translates when you're going to be going up against a team that I think is just a bit more physically gifted.
Yeah, I mean, Yale's got some play. I didn't want to do it. Yeah, they got players. Nico Brown, the wideouts, had a really good year, 978 yards, 10 touchdowns. Ezekiel Larry on the defensive line, 10.5 sacks. It's a good Ivy League team. They're not going to be able to face off against this Youngstown team, and I think really hold a candle as a whole. There could be some bright spots. There have been bright spots this season, but it's just going to be too much of an uphill climb.
Yeah. I think it sounds like we're both going with Youngstown in this one. The next Ivy League game, Harvard at number 12, Villanova. I've been grappling back and forth on like which direction I want to go in for picking this game. To be honest with you, I think if Harvard had been put into a different matchup, I would have picked them to get knocked out. But frankly, I don't know how legit this Villanova squad is. I am not like overly impressed with the fact that, you have the loss to Monmouth. Your best win is against UNH. They're one of the least challenged seeded teams at the current moment. And I give Harvard credit for what they bring to the table offensively. Jaden Craig has been recognized as a guy with an NFL arm, and there is a potential that if he doesn't declare this year, that he goes in the portal and that he's highly sought after as a potential starter for some pretty large programs looking for a stopgap quarterback. On the other side of this, though, we've got Villanova, who we know Pat McQuaid's been super solid. He's been super efficient. Maybe that efficiency comes into play in this game as they really, really need it.
Yeah, I'm leaning Villanova. Burying the lead here a bit. I don't care. It's Harvard. Harvard has been carried by a quarterback this year. Great. Jaden Craig, good. Very, very good. It's great to have a quarterback, but you need more of a team. Villanova has more team than Harvard does. The running back room was really good. David Avett, who was hurt with a bone bruise in his knee per some reporting in early November. Let's get some injury reports out, especially in the playoffs, please. But they have 3 running backs over 500 yards. It's a healthy offense to me. Jabril Mace and Isaiah Ragland have stepped in. They're both over 500 yards. So if Avett stayed healthy, I'm sure he's working towards 1,000. But 3 guys, 500 yards. They can run the rock. Their defense is solid. Shane Hartzell, we've been talking about him a little bit over the years, leading Villanova in tackles and sacks. Really, really good linebacker that's been heading up that defense. So I just think Villanova has it. They got the bodies. It's a CAA recruited team. People want to play at Villanova. So I'm in on this team beating Harvard, even though Jaden Craig might have a good day. He might go for like 303, but I think Villanova ends up gutting this one out. They love gutting out weird close games. It could be that. But I still think it has to go to Villanova.
That's kind of part of it for me, that I feel like they don't really have a dominant victory this year. The last time that they faced their most prolific passer they faced this year, when they went up against Derek Robertson, they gave up nearly 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. So I have a little bit of a concern. That was a while ago. That it was in September. A little bit of a concern of how their secondary is going to play against Craig. Here's my thing, and this fuels what my whole hyperbolic rant that I had the other day. I don't know how good Harvard is. Their non-conference schedule is unchallenging against Stetson, Holy Cross, who was apparently supposed to be good this year but ended up being giga shit, and Merrimack, who's never been good and is a recent move up that doesn't really have the resources to produce a competitive football team. For the most part, they played obviously an Ivy League schedule, but outside of like what is supposed to be their best win? Is it 31-10 against Dartmouth? Is it 45-43 against Penn, who is at the top of the conference? I just think that the bottom half of the Ivy is pretty bad. It's pretty weak. And I think that a lot of you've got Yale and Harvard who have bolstered their resumes and also UPenn in a way, by beating up on the back half of the conference. They just ended up beating each other. The whole conference ended up beating each other for the most part. I know some of these teams had standalone quality wins, but Harvard specifically, I do not know how good they legitimately are, because the opportunity to actually play a good team, they got smoked by Yale.
Sounds like talking about the SEC, where they're just beating out your qualifying. How good do we know they are if they just keep on beating each other? It's the Ivies, though. It is not the SEC. Harvard is not Alabama. Yale is not Georgia.
Once were.
Yeah, you're sick in the head.
No, I mean they literally once were. That's not a joke. Back in the inception of football, they once were. Apparently, just like the SEC bias carries over to the Ivy Leagues. Apparently, that's how that works. We'll find out this weekend, though.
Sure. I will not. I'm not leaning towards the Ivies in this one. I think Villanova gets this one done.
I'm going to take Harvard in this battle. Central Connecticut at URI. Coach Flem looked awfully disappointed for not getting a bye. Seems like he thought he earned it. Their biggest wins this past year were against UNH and Maine. They justifiably, I will not talk around this, they did have one of the easiest CAA schedules for the most part, because they weren't challenged by Monmouth. They weren't challenged by Villanova. They did get that big win, as I said, against UNH, which I think kind of rounded out their schedule. This Central Connecticut team's balls. I mean, like, what am I supposed to talk about here? They won their conference?
Yeah.
Cool, good job. Their best win was against Mercyhurst. They have losses to Dartmouth, Merrimack, and Duquesne. URI should be able to smother this Central Connecticut team.
Yeah, let's go a little non-biasedly before I start ranting. Okay. Devin Farrell, URI quarterback, 3,000 yards, 6th in the nation. Very good. His top target, Marquise Buchanan, tied for first in receiving yards with 1,123. I believe Josh Derry from Monmouth had the exact same yardage, which is crazy. And then running back Antwain Littleton Jr., 12th in rushing yards with 1,095 and 11 touchdowns. Sounds like a triple threat. Sounds like the triplets, a three-headed monster. The quarterback, the wide receiver, the running back. Good defense, big offensive line. What else do you need? What else do you need to beat Central Connecticut State? That's what's there. All right. Bad loss to Brown. We put that behind us. Governor's Cup still getting brought up, I guess. I guess you can't lose one game. It is what it is.
Why is it that every other fan base is afforded? This is what's bothering me. Every other fan base is afforded. Well, it was a rivalry game. It's really crazy. Anything can happen in a rivalry game. But every time you or I is just mentioned, it's, wow, that's a really embarrassing loss to Brown. This happens across the sport. We could name historical situations where rivalry games produce unexpected results. This is a huge rivalry. I think a lot of people don't realize that this is one of the biggest rivalries in the Northeast. And I understand that was an embarrassing loss. And
we owned it. Also, that weekend when that happened, we came on the show and owned that shit.
The reality that probably happened is they probably overlooked them. And when you're overlooking a team that their season is built off of, if they beat you, you're going to get caught up on. And they've bounced back since. They slowly started the season, and since then, they have dominated every single team that they've faced in the back half.
The Maine win was awesome. The UNH win was great. Like their wins with scores when they were playing against the better teams in the CAA, smoked them. Mm-hmm. Not worried about it. I should. Never. Hold on.
Yeah, knock on wood. What are you doing?
I'm not worried about the narrative, is what I mean. All right, the game is the game. Go out, play the game. I'm taking your eye in this one. I'm not that. I think that they beat Central Connecticut State.
You're going to get us in trouble. Lamar
no.
At Abilene Christian. The ACU folks are slowly finding the Grimace Conference graphic, and it's making me very happy. I just need the ACU retweet from the ACU football account. Got a lot of people chiming in, though, and it makes me very happy that they're starting to realize. It's one guy who was the
Central Arkansas guy?
No, well, I like his bit. I always love his bit. We're going to get a Central Arkansas mentioned in the comments. There was one dude who quote tweeted us. Where was it? I'm going to find this.
Pardon audio listeners. Joe is scrolling on his iPad.
No, I'm on my computer.
Oh, sorry.
Brighton Catcher who, no, it's not him. It's not him.
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah.
Carlos Rosado, who it is. He's a reporter for BCH News, and he mentioned he wished he asked about it during the Monday press conference.
Oh, my God.
That would have been awesome if that got brought up. I wish more. Next press conference, please. Anyone who covers ACU football, please ask them about the Grimace Conference. I need a request.
If they lose to Lamar, maybe we don't.
They ain't losing to Lamar.
I know they're not.
They're not losing to Lamar.
I know they're not.
Grimace supremacy.
If they lose to Lamar, let's not ask, because that means we might never have a question again. If they win and the vibes are good, go ahead. Slip in a little Grimace Conference mention. Just let them know. I'm sure it'll be met with bewilderment, but...
The what?
Get in on the bit. Let's get the bit going. It's a fun one. ACU was great this year, 4-0 in Grimace play. Big reason why they made the playoffs, honestly, is how they performed against Grimace teams. There were good purple teams.
Yeah.
The Tarleton win was massive. It's a good team with ACU, +9 turnover margin. I don't think they're going to make a ton of noise, in the long run.
Whoa! Don't besmirch our champion.
We take it game by game in the Grimace. That's what we do.
Okay.
Oh, God. Am I moving over here? Am I set? Okay. All right. I'll get my camera going in a moment.
Did you do the thing again?
I think so. Either you yelled too loud and you activated it, said no, and it moved, or I okay. But regardless, ACU's solid. I think they get past Lamar. Lamar decided to be goofy at the end of the season, losing to McNeese for no reason. The quarterback play at Lamar has been, defense has carried them. Christian Pugh, let me mention him. He had an insane year for Lamar. 83 tackles, the team leader, half a sack, 4 picks, 5 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles. Awesome season from him. Lamar loses to ACU, though.
I do think that Lamar is going to lose this game. I have very little faith in Lamar because as solid of the early victory that they had against USD and a good win on their resume against Southeastern Louisiana. To have lost to Incarnate, who's a bottom feeder team at the current moment, to lose to McNeese in the final week, who's a bottom feeder team at the current moment. SFA losing to SFA is what it is because SFA has a great resume this year. We talked about this. Lamar barely belonged in the playoff field.
Yeah.
They barely earned a right to be here. I think that ACU, if they're motivated enough, is going to come out swinging and be pissed off that they're even matched up with a team like this.
I would agree. I think ACU clears them. Fine season for Lamar. Exceeded my expectations by making it this far. Fine.
But you got to finish.
Yeah.
You got to finish. You can't lose to McNeese, guys.
Yeah.
You can't. If you want us to speak positively about you, you can't lose to McNeese. I don't think anyone should get upset over that. You lose a bad game that you're not supposed to, you should get criticized for it.
Right.
No one's getting praise for that. Illinois State at Southeastern Louisiana, the Fighting Blake Ruffinos. I very directly told Blake, you guys are not going to make it past the first round. And he kind of just said, yeah. I always forget that Carson Camp's still playing FCS football. He's going to be 60 by now, how long he's been playing. He is still a very solid, veteran, experienced quarterback going up against the wonderful Tommy Rittenhouse, who has been ultra productive this year. Illinois State's resume includes losses to Youngstown State, NDSU, and SIU. They've got solid wins over the entire state of South Dakota, beating South Dakota and SDSU. I think that this Illinois State team is incredibly underrated, and this is another early opportunity for them to flex their muscles.
I think so too. Selah, fine year. Not a ton of impressive wins from their side of things. Lost to Lamar, 14-12. We just talked about Lamar.
Yeah.
They're all right, though. Wide receiver Jalen Domingo, solid year.
I'll try that again.
I know. I think I hit it right. It ends in a Geaux. I think that's how it's done. He had 11 touchdowns. Linebacker KK Reno.
That is not a Louisiana name. Sorry.
I know. 118 tackles all year, 10th in the FCS, and that, like, those are the big players. Those are the big stars. Those are the guys that are helping them win games in their conference against some of the skills, which they played a lot of. Illinois State, though, went through the meat grinder and came out a better team, I'd say. Rittenhouse, huge year, 34 touchdowns. That's great. Took less than a sack a game, which is good for the Illinois State offensive line. Leading rusher right now, Victor Dawson, filled in for Wenker's right. And he came alive with a strong November. I think he had a couple 100-yard games. And Dawson started at Merrimack, spent a year at Cincinnati, then landed with the Redbirds, and now he is in the FCS playoffs, hoping to shoulder some of the load. Selah also going to struggle with the Illinois State defense. Plays hard, gets to the quarterback. Are you going to be able to run on Ty Niekamp? Probably not, or Niekamp. Sixth in tackles in the FCS. He had 126 this year. Just a quirked up linebacker in the middle looking for a football to put his helmet on.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Illinois State's solid. Illinois State runs with this one, I think.
Sorry, Blake. R.I.P. Selah. North Dakota at Tennessee Tech. Look, I got to be honest with you here. As strong as Tennessee Tech's resume has been, and I do think that they should have earned a bye, we do have to call into question how much of an actual threat that they are, because they don't have a big win this year. They don't have like a big, really resume-defining victory. When you're in these smaller conferences, you at least need to have like something to turn to, and I don't know what that is. Their only loss this year came against Kentucky. They do deserve praise for going unbeaten in the FCS. This matchup with North Dakota is the worst one that they possibly could have drawn. To get put at 13 was like a real absolute screw job, because quite frankly, they should have been gifted a game against like a Drake or something along those lines.
Or Central Connecticut.
Or no. I don't want to. Don't take that away from
gets the bye also, and then everyone's happy.
We can't make everybody happy. But this is to my point here. I feel as though Tennessee Tech could have won a couple of games and had a nice little playoff run, but because they have to go up against one of the solid teams in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, you got this. I don't know why I always say football conference. The MVFC always trips me up when I'm like saying it fully. The Missouri Valley. Let's just say it as the Missouri Valley. Vesperis has been awesome, but we also know that Kaminsky has been tremendous as well. This could be one of those really exciting, super high scoring games, or we see North Dakota run away with it.
It could be. I actually don't think it's going to be the latter. This year, North Dakota, when playing inferior opponents, Jerry Kaminsky's had a great day. And he had a couple really good wins against Youngstown and SIU. Those were great. Those were in October. The final stretch of the season, 4 games. They beat up on Murray State, who's really one of the worst teams in the FCS. So good job on that. They still scored 17 on North Dakota, by the way. And then they lose to South Dakota, lose to North Dakota State, lose to South Dakota State. How much are we really going to like judge that? Up to you, the listener. All right. I'm taking it as those are good teams, and it didn't fall North Dakota's way. But in those games, Kaminsky didn't really step up. Kaminsky threw some picks, bad picks, crucial moments. And now they are playing another big-time team in Tennessee Tech. Not that Tennessee Tech has been a world beater, beating the Montana States or whoever else you want to mention. They didn't beat Mercer this year or anything, but they're a legit team with a legit offense is going to put points on the board and challenge North Dakota. So I'm sitting here thinking Kaminsky could either break the game open and be dialed and a little surgical and do it with his legs too. It's going to be the nice mix with him and Sawyer Seidel, or it'll be tight. It'll be a bit awkward, and he'll throw a pick to lose it at the end of the game. And this is not knocking the kid. It's just the trend of what's happened against these better teams. And now he is playing another better team this week. So I am not in the camp of North Dakota just walking in and having a big time fun day.
Tennessee Tech's going to get their asses kicked.
Tennessee Tech is
Tell
not
your dad
gonna
I
get their
said
asses
that.
kicked.
Tell your dad I said that.
Tennessee Tech can run
Tell
that
your dad
thing.
at dinner on Thursday that I said that.
Quintel Quinn and Kadarius Jennings have been toting that thing. Both of them they're gonna run the rock also. It's a balanced offense. Quinn 680 or Jennings 687 yards, 9 touchdowns. Quinn 588 and 10. I reversed it. I'm such an idiot there, but whatever. Both of them are running the rock well. I like Tennessee Tech in this one over North Dakota.
North Dakota has been arguably one of the most challenged teams this year, and they have stood up to many of those challenges. I know that the season didn't end the way that they wanted it to against STSU to have a confident win and potentially be one of these seeded teams. But clip this out and send it to your dad. Let your dad know that Tennessee Tech's going down. Let him know that he's going down. I'd love to hear from him afterwards. Yeah. UNH.
Brody loses.
What are you doing?
Looking back at you. Just for no
Your
reason.
own team.
Yeah. I'll follow the knife for it. Go ahead.
It's a big Anderson weekend for football. UNH at South Dakota State. Man, UNH could not have been delivered a worse battle here. Chase Mason, are you playing? Are you playing football this weekend?
Someone let us know. Nice.
Seriously, is he playing? Is there any indication that he is?
Brother, they are keeping it close to the vest. I mean, if Mason is playing, sorry, UNH.
Yeah.
If Mason isn't playing, then we got a tight one. Then we got a game that's going to look a lot like South Dakota State's last few games, which is not, South Dakota State blowout loss, but, this is more of a good FCS team. And that's what UNH is really good at, is being a good FCS team. Personally,
I would have been fine if UNH didn't get into the playoff field. Their resume wasn't exactly very exciting.
Wouldn't have bothered me.
Lost to Dartmouth, Villanova, and URI, two of the best teams in the conference. They did beat Monmouth, but Monmouth didn't even get in. It almost felt like this was a decision that the committee made where they're like, okay, which one do we put in? And they just threw UNH in because they won the head-to-head. As we know, SDSU started the season super hot with wins over Montana State, FCS powerhouse Mercyhurst, Youngstown, and North Dakota. And then since then, they had very frustrating losses to NDSU, USD, and Illinois State. I think that this finish for them and then the unconfirmed return of Chase Mason, they're just going to not have a quarterback.
Yeah,
I have no freaking idea
it's
anymore.
potential. I mean, we're just talking about the possibility of SDSU.
Possibility
wiping
of
the
a
floor.
potential opportunity for a chance to see a questionable, real or not real participation or non-participation from their starting quarterback.
And additionally, because I just
enough negatives in there.
I think so. I think because I'm thinking about what the listener would be thinking in their car or in their whatever they're listening to. They're sitting here like,
no one listens to this in their car. They listen to it in a dark room.
That's how it's
from
encouraged.
Everybody.
I know. Some normal people do.
I can't let anyone know I'm listening to these guys. honey, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hear voices.
She just hears laughter. Was that a dick joke?
What did I tell you about listening to those boys?
He just walked around the house, bring the brung, bring the brung. And she's like, where is he getting this language?
Yeah, we are a bad influence for the amount of inappropriate things that we've said on this show about nicknames we've delivered to these players.
Imagine you're just the wife of the kid, just chilling on a Saturday, and then you hear your husband on the couch, balls out, get your balls out for him. Like, she's, what the hell? That's not right, man. What I was gonna say is, I guess it's kind of going to hack it up here. It's no guarantee that if Chase Mason does return, that he's going to be fully healthy or at the full 100% capability that he was playing at earlier in the season.
I think I'm tracking.
Yeah. So if he does play, it could be a different, not as electric version of Chase Mason. So I'll throw in that disclaimer just so we have our bases covered, even though I think if he does, South Dakota State wins this one.
Yeah, I think South Dakota State's going to win. Again, I don't think that this UNH team is very good. I think that it's automatically assumed based on my rant the other day that I think that every CAA team is elite. That is not the case. I actually think that this is obviously the weakest year for the CAA. I think that this is a season where we really have one really good team, and then we've got a couple of other okay, decent, fine teams.
Well, they took it on the chin during realignment.
Yeah.
Like the retrospective on that is...
Sources on some potential additions for the CAA, by the way. I'm hearing Alabama might be interested in relocating.
Nice. That'd be good.
So,
East Coast.
So for all of you CAA haters, you just watch all these big brands. They're in talks with the CAA.
You think we can get Syracuse?
Talks. We don't want Syracuse.
Why don't we want Syracuse?
We need something bigger than Syracuse. Michigan.
UConn.
I don't want UConn.
Oh, what? I thought you were the UConn guy.
Yeah, but UConn's too good now. I don't want UConn.
Delaware, you guys can come back.
I don't think Delaware's coming back.
If you want. I'm just chasing my Delaware mention to comment.
Drake at South Dakota.
Oh,
God, this
best for last.
Sucks.
Oh, no, that's not where I was expecting.
They got completely worked this year. Nothing. I don't like Drake. Lost to USD and SDSU. I realize the verb that I put in here does not work with how I'm describing them.
Let me see what you
Drake's fine, man. I just don't. I mean, they already lost to South Dakota. What else do we need? They're the buy game for a lot of teams every year. We do this every year.
Yeah.
We pull up the scores in one random week. Oh, so and so played Drake. Thanks for showing up, Drake. Good for Drake, I guess, for winning the Pioneer League.
Good for Drake.
Yeah.
Drake. Okay, let's have a nice look. I'm going to be nice to Drake here because you're being so awful and rude and mean.
What are you going to do about it?
Nick Herman has been good for them. Rushed for 960 yards and 6 touchdowns this year. How about Drake linebacker Sean Allison? Sick first name. That's awesome for him.
Spelled the same way?
It is. 7th in tackles in the FCS with 120.
He took a spot from Presbyterian, by the way.
Drake also on defense, 5th best scoring defense in the nation, allowing just 15.82 points per game. Watch out, South Dakota. You better get in the end zone or else Drake's going to put the clamps on your stupid ass. I don't know. They're going to be fine. LJ Phillips is going to run for 200 yards. He's 3rd in the FCS in rush yards with 1,556. 15 touchdowns also. South Dakota doesn't have a problem getting in the end zone. Wide receiver Lorenzo Fenner got in the end zone 11 times. And if you're worried about Drake maybe airing it out, South Dakota's got this DB called Mikey Munn, who's got 50 tackles, 8 passes defended, 3 picks, and a forced fumble. So good luck. What I'll say, because I made the note, and I know we're just trying to get out of this here, for the possibility of South Dakota moving on for the next round, hopefully that D-line can get tuned up against Drake because they only have 15 sacks on defense all year.
They're going to get 15 in this game.
So let's work some stunts. Let's try to get something going here if you really want to make a push.
Yeah, look, plain and simple. I know that USD had been up and down, but they had a really strong finish. They might have one of the best. They've been weird for ranking purposes. Them and North Dakota started on opposite ends and then completely reverse course. So like you had North Dakota on the back end and off some people's ballots, rapidly climb up and then rapidly descend. And then you had South Dakota at the top of a lot of people's ballots, drop from the top to the bottom and then back all the way up to the top again. It was really hilarious that these two teams kind of just like ran in circles past one another. But South Dakota has one of the most underrated resumes of the playoff field. And if we do see them go on a little bit of a run here, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that Bauman, albeit has had some inconsistencies, can step up here. And I've been a big fan of LJ Phillips, who has been insanely awesome. Productive.
Yeah. I mean, what if they both stink? What if both North Dakota and South Dakota stink?
Oh, they're going to say them and Drake, and I was going to shout at you for putting
Why
them
would
in the same sentence.
I mean, look, they're fine. They're pretty reflective of each other's seasons between North Dakota and South Dakota. So, I mean, do I think either of them's going the distance? No. But let's see what happens. You know what? It's the first round of the playoffs. Make me look like a jackass, somebody. I'll come back here and call myself a jackass. People know I'm comfortable with that. I'll say, you prove me wrong, Drake. I'll say that. Go ahead. Prove me wrong. All the people, all the teams that we picked against, prove me wrong. Do something.
Do you have any thoughts on the play-in game between Presbyterian and Mercyhurst? Do you have any thoughts on that game? I'm the one who's putting it on.
It's the eventual
at a local high school. I put it on. Random FCS podcaster orchestrates.
Well, yeah, we don't really have
pickup game.
We don't really have a truck.
We're not paying you guys. Yeah. There's also no broadcast in this game.
It'll be a broadcast off of my iPhone 12 on Twitter Live. We'll be on Periscope.
I was going to suggest I take some pictures from the top of the stands and post those. They're all really blurry.
It's way zoomed out.
Yeah.
It's actually a phone. It's a phone into one side of a binocular just so I can zoom.
All right, everybody. Today's episode was presented to you by our very good friends over at FanDuel. Again, if you want to bet on the FCS playoffs, college football this week in the NFL, make sure you head on over to FanDuel. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. We'll talk to you later.